you're a quilter or somebody just entering into quilting, piecing on the Baby Lock Zeal is done in just a few simple steps. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we are on the straight stitch using the A or B setting on our stitch selector. The next thing I want to make sure is that I have the 2 setting on the width. What that does is that places my needle in a center needle position and my stitch length. I always like a 2.5 when I'm piecing. It's a little easier to unsew. Now again, as I said, adjusting that stitch width will place that needle in a center needle position so that I can use the markings on my bobbin cover plate. And I'm going to use the 1/4 inch marking on the bobbin cover plate, which rests right in between the 1/8 and the 3/8 inch marking. Placing my edge of my fabric along that, I'm going to place it underneath the presser foot, and I'm going to sew or attach my first 2 pieces together. Now when I start to stitch at the beginning, because there's nothing at the back, in a sense adding a little bit of tension, I will hang on to my needle and bobbin threads ever so slightly, but I start slow. I let that needle connect with that fabric, and then once I've got it to position where I'm ready to go, I let her rip. So I'm coming to the end of my first piece. I'm going to place my second piece right underneath, almost chain piecing, and as I get closer to the feed dogs, they will grab that piece of fabric and just pull it in. As I come to the end, I'm going to do the same thing. So to the end of that piece of fabric, place my next piece underneath, and I'm just going to sew those 2 together in a chain. As I come to the end, I'm done piecing all of my pieces together. I'm going to take the needle out of the fabric, raise that presser foot, use that built-in thread cutter because it's so handy, and here are my pieces. Perfect 1/4 inch piece seen every time using the Baby Lock Zeal. While using the standard presser foot and the marking on the bobbin cover plate is easy when you're piecing, there are actually 2 feet that you can also use that will help you. They are 1/4 inch feet, and how they work is, in this case, this one we would have a guide or a rail, and in this one we would use the edge of our toe. Now because these 2 feet, and this is really important, have a wider opening, I'm able to dump my needle all the way over to the right and not hit the edge of that presser foot. So what I need to do is I need to adjust my width to that setting of 5, and as you can see, that's moved that needle over to the right. I'm actually going to use the 1/4 inch piecing foot with the guide. Let's go ahead and snap that in place, and then when I place my fabric underneath the presser foot, instead of using that marking on the bobbin cover plate, I'm actually going to use the guide or the rail that sits on the presser foot. Placing my fabric underneath, and again, because I'm starting off at the edge of the fabric, I always hang on to those thread tails a little bit, and I sew very slow. And you can see that that needle is riding very close to that presser foot. That's why having this foot with that oval is the one that you want to look for. And again, this is an optional presser foot that is available at your Baby Lock retailer. And I place that second piece right underneath, and I can get that right up to that last piece, and I'll chain these 2 pieces together. And then we'll take a look at our seam allowance and our stitching. Take that needle out of the fabric, raise the presser foot, again use that built-in needle threader, and here are our 2 pieces together, perfect 1/4 inch, and I chain piece them in one simple step. All that is made available for you on the Baby Lock Zeal and the optional presser foot, which is called the 1/4 inch patchwork foot.